Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the most important recording projects ever. And this is the one that probably got more mentions than any other so far. And who am I to argue? It's the Hyperion Complete Schubert Song Edition in the box. About the only thing wrong with this is that the box is a little bit fragile. I've been very careful because some of these things tend to disintegrate. They crack at the seams and there's nothing to do if the box goes. Because the discs have all been repackaged. Let's see what we got. We have to get the styrofoam buffer thing out. And then we have the fabulous 70 billion page booklet with all the texts and translations and indices. It's the way to do it. And then you've got these discs, which I can only admire the fact that they've all been recoupled in, listen to that? That's the sound of greatness. In chronological order of composition, to the extent they know it, and in these slim jewel box thingies, which are really quite handy. This is all the brainchild of pianist Graham Johnson, a fantastic Schubert and other song accompanimental pianist guy. And so it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Who are we kidding? It's got 40 discs and I don't know how many songs Schubert wrote. I'm sure the number is in here somewhere. It's somewhere around 600 and something, I think. I don't know. It's just an absolutely ridiculous number. And let us see. It tells us exactly what we have in absurd detail. I love it. Contents: 40 compact discs, 812 tracks, total duration 48 hours, 26 minutes. So it's nice to know that you can listen to all 600 or 700 of these suckers in 2 days and 26 minutes, playing them end to end, in the shower, in the bathroom, when you're asleep, constantly, if it doesn't drive you insane. Discs 1 through 37 give you the complete Schubert songs presented for the first time in recorded history in chronological sequence of composition. Discs 38 through 40, 3 bonus discs containing 81 songs by 40 of Schubert's friends and contemporaries, not previously issued. Schubert had many friends and contemporaries, evidently, and they all wrote songs. They had a lot of time on their hands, didn't they? And the book, 448 pages, 210 by 142 millimeters, containing 258,096 words. Modern word processing is fabulous that way, isn't it? You push a button and you get the total. They don't tell you how many characters. Oh well. Complete song texts, English translations by Richard Wigmore, introduction to the recordings by Graham Johnson, chronologies of Schubert's life by Graham Johnson, comprehensive indices, and includes Ian Bostridge singing Die Schöne Müllerin and Matthias Görner singing Winterreise. It just could not have been done better. It really couldn't have. And the wonderful thing about this edition when it started, and you don't see that in this particular configuration, is that they used all the great Schubert singers who were sort of going over the hill, doing their Schwanengesang leader discs for this edition. So you have an Ellie Ameling disc and a Janet Baker disc, and I think isn't Fischer Dieskau in here somewhere too? It's really cool. It's just really, really cool. It doesn't get better. Now, since this thing has been done, Naxos did a complete Schubert song edition, which is also very good, featuring young singers, less known singers. It's a different concept, so that they're not directly comparable in that sense. But in terms of comprehensiveness and I think more than anything else, this set, and I don't have the dates, but it was like when did it come out? In the 90s mostly, or the 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was an era. We have lived through, and are still in an era of completosity, completeness, completitude, where these complete editions of things just started popping up, and they started popping up on independent labels like Hyperion, who did things for love of music, and I think. And because it hadn't been done before, and because they could, and they did it with complete class. Just rightness and class. They found all the music. They got fabulous artists to perform the music. They packaged and presented it like the deluxe item it really is. They didn't just toss it out. Yeah, Fisher Dieskau's here. I see his name here. And Brigitte Fassbender, and oh my goodness, all these names are here on the box. See, they have there's a list of some of the singers. That's this writing business here over there. Kind of pale, but there it is. And it is an extraordinary. An amazing achievement. And I don't know if this box is still available. I hope it is. And I don't know what's going to happen to Hyperion now that it's been sold. So if you've got these things, hang on to them. You don't know what's going to happen. But what's even more amazing about this particular project, and what a project it was. It took years to complete. They took their time. They didn't just issue a box, like that. Is that it gave birth to Graham Johnson's definitive 3-volume book study of all of the Schubert songs. This is the definitive, and I never use the word definitive. In fact, one of my mentors, Sedgwick Clark, who's a terrific guy, said is 2 words never to use in a review ever. One was unique and the other is definitive, because nothing is ever definitive and everything is different from everything else. Therefore, it's unique. So who cares? He was right. But this is the definitive, so far, study of Schubert Lieder. And it was done, from the point of view of a performer scholar who knows the music as well as anybody ever can or ever will. And it was published by Yale University Press. It's an adjunct to the CDs. And if you're serious about Lieder, you have to have it. Now, I'm not serious about Lieder. I don't even particularly like Lieder. I really don't. But, there are some things that are just so important and significant musically and historically and culturally. And just as an iconic exemplar of what a great independent label can do, that I feel honor bound to have this and actually listen to it once in a while, which I do. I take these things out and play them, because there's no point in having them just sit there like a doorstop, or, you got to listen to them. And when I do listen to them, I'm almost always enchanted, because it's great. Great music is great music. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It could be anything. And even though voice and piano is not my speciality, I can appreciate great performances and great singing. Look, it has its ups and downs. Not everything is perfect. You have to do those Schubert ballads that are half an hour long, and like Der Taucher and things like that. They're endless. But still, they are amazing. And what was really so remarkable was Graham Johnson's ability to find such an amazing collection of singers who were willing to give of their time and learn this music, especially the unknown songs, the ones that we aren't familiar with. Because, we know a few dozen of them, right? The ones that everybody sings, but then there's all the rest. And people have to learn to sing them, and not just learn to sing them, but they have to learn to sing them well and internalize them and perform them and get to know it. I'm sure that it was every bit as much a voyage of discovery for the performers as it was for us listeners. And they did it, and they did it with such conviction and love and sincerity. It's just a tribute to everything that's great and good about our musical culture. The level of commitment, the musical talent of everybody involved. It really is something special. And it's impossible to exaggerate that. It's a landmark in the history of recordings, a landmark in the history of the industry, of Hyperion, the label. And oh God, what's going to happen now that they're sold? I just worry. I wonder if, Universal bought it, right? Something like that. Do they even know what they have? Just how precious a legacy it is. I hope they do. I suspect they don't, or don't care, or don't know what to do with it if they do care. But Hyperion, for this period, nothing lasts forever. Nothing does. But the recordings are there. It's been done. It's been documented. it exists. And as long as it exists, there's hope that it will continue to exist and be available for forever, just forever. I mean, it ought to be. So I don't know. Words kind of fail me when you're confronted with a project carried out with this kind of professionalism and intelligence and expertise and joy. It's amazing, just amazing. And this thing, the books, wow. It's almost as much fun to read the books as it is to listen to the discs. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.